Learn how one man crawled from the pits to the penthouse. Written and narrated by Peter J. Merrick. Have you ever wondered what drives someone to soar to the top of his or her game in business? For my entire professional life, I have been asking myself this. Like the ancient mythic Greek figure Sisyphus, who each day pushes his huge rock up the side of a mountain to awaken the next morning, finding that it has rolled right back down. I still remain optimistic in my search that I will find clues that move me closer to answering this question. Once in a while, we meet an individual who, through the studying of their life story, we gain insight into what motivates one's need to create, to add to society as a whole, and stand above the crowd. I would like to believe these are lessons that can be taught and applied to enhance our own journeys. The first time I met him in person was on a Friday at lunch. Before that day, I had only known of him through his many achievements and charitable works which have enhanced the community and left an imprint on the Toronto skyline through the development of dwellings that today thousands of Torontonian families call home. Important notice to reader: if you find yourself enjoying this story, please share this post. Write something in the comments section and press like on LinkedIn. His story is an inspiring Canadian rag to riches tale. He had immigrated to Canada in the early 1960s to a blue-collar, working-class neighborhood in Toronto called Christie Pits. What he lacked in immaterial wealth, he sure made up with his vision and chutzpah. I started at the bottom when I came to this country. I needed to prove myself that I was worthy of success. I was hungry. As I learned more about this business titan's story, I was reminded of Ernest Hemingway's novel, The Old Man and the Sea. It features three main characters: the old fisherman, his young apprentice, and the human spirit. The old fisherman takes on the once-in-a-lifetime catch of a prized marlin weighing over 1,800 pounds, which is described in a manner to draw out and mirror the challenges facing each of us in our lives. The old fisherman hasn't had a catch in 84 days. On day 85, he decides that no matter what, he will go out further than any other fisherman has gone, and he'll not return without his catch. Indeed, that was his fate. The old fisherman experiences physical pain, emotional pain, spiritual pain, and the pain of being alone with the elements. Yet he continues on, creating hope where there is none. The old fisherman catches that great marlin, and in the end, the old fisherman's apprentice is now more committed than ever, that he will learn as much as he can from his mentor about all there is to know about the art of fishing. The Old Man and the Sea is a story about determination and perseverance, of how one should never let go without a good fight. Like the old fisherman, this real-life business titan had been a warrior. The first challenge he set for himself in business was scraping together the little he had to buy his first newspaper route. By age 13, he owned 10 of them. The boys he employed were just happy to deliver the newspapers. They had accepted his one condition: he would let them keep the money for their routes, but he would make the collections and kept all the tips. This was just the beginning. After every success and the many setbacks he endured, he kept on setting his sights on ever greater prizes to test his stamina and resolve. At 16, he dropped out of high school and became an electrician. With little formal education, he was deeply dissatisfied with his station in life. He had a clear picture in his head that did not match his outer reality. He was unyielding, determined to make something of himself. By age 20, he had overcome many obstacles and learned to deal with the complexities of running a successful electrical contracting company, which employed by then over 130 people. His next endeavors led him into the building of residential homes. Once he mastered that, he built condominiums and office buildings. When others gave only 30% of their efforts, whatever I did, I gave it my 100%. I had no other choice because I had started from scratch. I could not afford to give anything less. I was competing only with myself. The 19th century philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson, in his classical essay called Compensation, argues that for everything that is gained, something will be lost. Achieving success does not occur as much from what you are prepared to do to reach your goals. More often than not, success comes only from making the hard choices in life, having the willingness to make sacrifices. I sacrificed plenty, he said. When others would run home at 5 o'clock, I would stay at work to complete the job. I took very little time off and no vacations. If it needed to be done, I worked smart to make it happen, to prove to myself that I measured up and was worthy to the task at hand. This man's story tells us that victory is not a prerequisite for honor. Instead, glory depends upon one having the fortitude to see a struggle through to its end, regardless of the outcome. Even if he had not accomplished the optimal result in every one of his business ventures, he knew in his heart that he had given it his all, and he would improve during his next challenge. Glory and honor comes not from the battle itself, but from a determination to fight and always fall forward and upwards. His story on a much deeper level is about two things: man's struggle with his environment and man's struggle with himself. The moral taken from this man's life is perhaps best illustrated through Edgar Guest's poem, "It Couldn't Be Done." Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but he, with a chuckle, replied that maybe it couldn't, but he would be one who wouldn't say so till he'd tried. So he buckled right in with the trace of a grin on his face. If he worried, he hid it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing. That couldn't be done, and he did it. Everyone desires to prove themselves to somebody, whether it's to their community, partners, friends, or family. But most importantly, you need to prove yourself to the toughest critic of them all, yourself. To truly win in life, one needs to strain themselves as they reach for their stars, then work at 100% of your capacity to create something of value, something that will stand the test of time. That's the hardest game we play. The one most worthy of playing is the one we play against ourselves every single day. That same determination and 100% commitment brought that immigrant kid right up from Christie to the penthouse of business success. He believed, as do I, that this same potential lies within all of us.